Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are and whatever you are doing. This is Dr. Luther Smith, and welcome to another edition of Basic Bible Study Tools. This show is designed to help and equip you with study tools that you can use to draw out the meaning of a text from Scripture and strive to find the author's intent when writing this. Okay, so in my other show, Small Talk, we take out of context Bible verses and put them in context. This show helps you not to do that. It helps you not to do that. So, at this point, you've looked at the grammar, you've looked at the culture, you've looked at the history, you've looked at the language, you've looked at grammar, the repetitions of words, so on and so forth. You've looked at conjunctions, transitions, prepositions. You've asked questions with the text. If you have done so, this paper will be littered. As a matter of fact, you probably might have 2 or 3 pages you're working with because of the fact that you have broken down the text so much, okay? And have attempted to really try to understand that. If you've done the homework consistently and you've done it well and you followed it well, your sheet should be way worse than mine. It should be filled up front, back, all over the place, right? So you've looked at the language, you've looked at the history, you've looked at the culture, you've looked at language, you've looked at grammar, you've looked at the repetition of words throughout this whole throughout part of this chapter. And as you can see, even though this is 10 verses, there are so many things to learn and extract from just 10 verses, right? And again, we are still in the observation stage. Okay, we're still here. Okay, we have not yet gotten to the explanation phase just yet. Okay, we will get there in the next episode. As a matter of fact, we'll talk a little bit about explanation and application next week. But for now, we're not going to do too much here because you've already done most of the work from episodes 1 through 5. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you your homework right now, okay, for you to do. What I want you to try to do, now that you know all of this stuff and you have all this knowledge, all of these questions answered, observing all of the language and the grammar and the repetition, what I want you to do is I want you to take verses 1 through 10, and I want you to try to summarize, or I want you to try to rewrite it in your own words. I want you to try to do that. And there's a reason for this. There's several reasons. One is it drives you back to the text. Okay, so you have to look at the text in order to, rewrite it, right? Or at least rewrite it in your own words. Okay. Second, we do this all the time with people who we talk to. So when we try to explain things, right? Let's say you're talking with somebody and they bring up something important, and you go, "Oh, okay. So in other words, ... right? Or let's say you're talking with somebody like I talk with my wife a lot, and about various things, and I'll talk to her about maybe I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I'll mention that my friend said this, and then I'll bring up, so in other words, my friend said this, right? Now, I didn't bring up exactly word for word what he said, but I kind of paraphrased or at least summarized what he said, right, to her so that she gets the main point. That's kind of what I want you to do here. I want you to take these verses and write them in your own words, okay? Now, a couple of ground rules here before you do this. One, if you're watching this for the first time, I need you to stop this video and go back to episode 1 and work your way forward, okay? I don't want you writing this in your own words without doing episodes 1 to 5 first, because there might be words in here and things that you may not have a full grasp of yet, and there's context here. In other words, Paul is writing this to a culture who you may not have any context, no historical context or cultural context about. And even Paul, who's Paul, right? So you may have those questions. If you're watching this for the first time, please go back and work through that. Okay. Second, okay, this is your rewriting of the text is not to be used for anything other than to understand the author's intent. So I don't want you writing your unauthorized version of Scripture, right? This is, again, for you to familiarize yourself even more with the text. Now, if you have been working with this text, you should already have this memorized, at least a large portion of it, because you've been working with it for so much and for so long, for 6 weeks, really. So you should pretty much have a general idea of some of the verses, or all of the verses, as a matter of fact. So I want you to go and rewrite it as if you were doing it, as if you were trying to explain it to somebody else without the text being there. Okay. Third, again, I stress. I'm gonna say it's so nice. I gotta say it twice. If you have skipped any of the videos so far, or if this is the first time that you're seeing this and you want to try this, I strongly urge that you go back and do the exercises from video 1 if you haven't seen it, or those who have skipped, that you would go back to what you skipped and do them. Okay, you have to do the exercises. They're important, okay, in understanding the meaning of the words themselves and what we're trying to accomplish here. So before you do this exercise, before you do it, please go back, and if you have not done any of the exercises so far, go back and look at them. But if you have, give it a shot and try and see if you can't summarize it in your own words, verses 1 to 10. Okay. So, with that being said, that is the end of this video. Next week, we will enter into explanation of the text, the reason why that's important, and application of the text, okay, and what that means. So, with that being said, this is Dr. Luther Smith, and you are watching Basic Bible Study Tools. Again, if you like the show, if you like what we're doing here, us trying to teach you basic Bible study tools, as well as all the other shows that we have on Urban Theologian Media, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have your support, and I thank you so much for those who have subscribed. Thank you so much for doing that. It means a lot to me that you do that you subscribe, that you share, that you also comment and like as well. You can also do that as well. That is fantastic, because that encourages me to continue making videos like these and others that will help you build and establish a biblical worldview. So thank you so much for all of that, for your support, and we appreciate that. My name is Dr. Luther Smith, and you are watching Basic Bible Study Tools on Urban Theologian Media. Until next time, grace and peace to you guys. Bye-bye.